Two Lansing police officers learned their punishment for using force in this arrest last month. Officer Lindsay Howley is suspended for 3 days. Officer Bailey Uberoth had his probation extended by 6 months. Both of them were cited for use of force violations and will get 10 extra hours of subject control training. Chief Yankowski says the officers could have done things differently, but as Megan Hiley reports, he says he didn't see any malice in their actions.
You know, being a police officer is a challenging job, and it's being done by human beings. And human beings, from time to time, will make a mistake or two. I recognize that, and I think so should the community.
The mistakes Chief Yankowski outlined were different for each officer involved. He says Officer Uberoth should have done a better job with handcuffing the girl so they wouldn't have slipped off her, and he shouldn't have escorted the girl the way he did. When it came to Officer Howley, he says she should have changed tactics when the strikes were not working, called for additional units, and tried harder to de-escalate the situation verbally.
Anytime that officers are required to perform their duties, it is their responsibility to be efficient and to have those high standards of laws and policies, procedures, and whatever force that they use, they are responsible for that.
The chief adds that the officer's lack of experience is somewhat to blame. He stated that Officer Uberoth had been on the force for less than 6 months, and Officer Howley had been there for about 13.
We have a very young department right now. And so when you look at the level of extra training they might need in their first year or two, we got to increase that, and that's what we're going to do.
Chief Yankowski said he is recommending multiple things for the department moving forward. This includes convening a board of review for the department policies. Both Officer Uberoth and Howley received 10 hours of additional training in subject control and de-escalation techniques, along with more training for others in the department. He says LPD will also host a quarterly community town hall forum to strengthen community dialogue and trust.
One incident does not define these officers. One incident doesn't define this department.
And that was Megan Hiley reporting for us there. The teen girl involved in this case is facing charges for resisting arrest. She is still in the Ingham County group home. The girl's mother is not happy her daughter is still being held there, while the officers were given what she calls a slap on the wrist. Tanya Lilly released a statement to Fox 47. In it, she says she's, quote, heartbroken as a parent that Chief Yankowski chose to spend an hour this afternoon defending the Lansing police officers who, by his own admission, abused my daughter and violated their own conduct in doing so, end quote. She goes on to say her family appreciates that the department recognized the officers' conduct was unreasonable, but says the consequences are not appropriate.